These are the points which I would like to share it with you guys. One, talking to the product owner less frequently. I should have done in this way to talk to the product owner more frequently to ensure that he has got the right help from me. And also the product backlog items in the product backlog, or having the top most prioritized ones, at least for the next 2 sprints. Two, showcasing the product, the management, that everything is going good, everything is going smooth. I think this is having the setback of its own. That I should have done it in a more transparent way to tell them that these are the problems we have, and it is like a win-win situation where this should have been done. Three, updating the Jira tasks, stories, subtasks on myself instead of giving the chance to the team. So later I realized the discipline is not there and the self-organizing thing is not there. Anyways, I'm doing it. They are keeping quiet. That is one thing. For talking too much in the, especially the Scrum events, so that my voice is heard. I later realized that instead of you talking or the SM talking, team members should speak, and also they should voice out to ensure that their voice is heard. And only because they are the people who are working on the ground, they know more on what are their problems instead of SM speaking more in any Scrum event. That is one.
Hi guys, for today's question, I want to share one observation that I found within myself, which I was doing wrong at the start. So I transitioned from a team lead to a Scrum Master, and what I found was while we changed the ceremony, the event, and even the designation as well, but rest everything remained the same for and what eventually happened was whenever we were coming for our daily Scrum, we were sharing updates, and primarily those updates were targeted towards me instead of the group. So that was one thing that we had to change. We converted that word of updates to progress, and instead of that being shared with me, I started saying, okay, let's share that with the group. And whenever they had something, I would say, okay, anyone wants to share anything? Anyone wants to? Does anyone see any challenge or risk? Something like that. So the conversation started to change within the group. Next was the adaptation of the 3-question format. Instead of just coming and sharing in one-liner what I had done yesterday, which we used to do earlier, now we were sharing what progress I had done yesterday, what I'm intending to do today, and if I see any blocker or challenge or risk with today's development plan. So that was kind of our discussion. One more change that we brought in was instead of me telling them what they could do in terms of pointers or in terms of things that they just normal things that they can do to make progress, we did that as a team thing, and our team used to tell this person, okay, this is going to be a challenge for you today because it's a dependency on me, or that is something that is going to be blocker for you because it's something which is also there with the other team, and you won't be able to make progress until they do their work. So something of that sort. So we shifted our discussion. One more thing that we did was we used to tell the group, if anyone can help this particular person or this particular member of the group, then please speak up. So later it came implicitly, and people used to raise their hand, volunteer, and help each other. So that was one change that we do along with the other things. Thank you.
Hello friends. So for this week question, have you ever done something later you only figured out that it is wrong? Yes, I did so many things. I'm happy and proud to say this because I at least recognized what mistake I did. So in that way, I feel I'm good. Okay. So 4 major steps I could say. The first thing is that kind of postmaster job what I did. It's like after a break when I resumed my office, I was a little nervous in all the works. Whatever the business or leadership team is saying, I will just take that one, and I will push that to my team member. No, 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 you have to do this. This is what they ask, and you have to do, without asking why are we doing this, what is the purpose of it, why you want this immediately, or what is the timeline. Without this question, because I was not that confident when I joined, so that time I was like getting the info and giving passing this to the team, not even understanding why are we doing this, what is the impact it will create, and why should I have to deliver this by this time, and why have to I do this kind of admin work. No, no questions, sir. Because my assumption and my thought process is that they are saying that and I have to deliver. This is the one what I'm doing.
Hello everyone. So today's question is, as a Scrum Master, have you ever done something and you only later on figure out that was wrong? So to answer today's question, the first thing is scope change. So initially, what happened, as we all know, like scope change is not the right practice in after the start of the sprint. So uh, once our sprint is started, uh, as a Scrum Master, we should make sure that the scope change should not takes place. But due to so many reasons, or due to some uncertain situation, I can say, like unplanned leaves, sick leave on the sprint planning day, or due to some high priority work that is being introduced by the product owner in between of the sprint. So or you can say, like, due to some um, higher management commitment with the client or the stakeholders, we have to accommodate these some items after our sprint gets started, and uh, this caused the scope change in our sprint. So this is the one thing that I figure out, this is the wrong that we are doing. This should not be done, and to avoid such scenarios, um, I have taken some steps. Basically, if someone is going on unplanned leave or sick leave on the sprint planning day, so I did something like pre-sprint planning, so that the team members are aware, and then we can start our sprint planning. So the after doing such kind of thing, we can reduce the scope change in our sprint. Yeah. The second thing is, I can say, initially when I started working as a Scrum Master, so I used to drive the daily Scrum event. But after later point of time, I realized this is not the correct way. And now also, like, uh, my team was very new and they were not aware of the Scrum and Agile. So at later point of time, and I found out like they are self organized and they can do by their own. So in spite of driving daily Scrum call, I started joining just as a audience. The third point I can say is updating the Jira subtasks or Jira user stories. What happens? Sometimes team members are very busy and they were not updating the user stories and subtasks after so many reminders as well. So what I used to do is I myself used to update their user stories or subtasks as they inform as they inform what is going on that. So I used to update it or change the status of Jira issues. But on later point of time, what I started doing is, in spite of updating myself, I used to I used to uh, take the team member on the call and ask them to update in front of myself, because it's like otherwise they were thinking, okay, if they are not updating the Jira task, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal anyway, Scrum Master is doing it. And they started thinking like Jira is not that much useful for them, it's just a waste of time. So that's why I just started following up with the team members and asked them to update it in front of me. And and also I trained them what is the importance of Jira. Thank you.
Hi all, good morning. This week's question is, as a Scrum Master, have you done something which you have later realized it is a wrong or mistake from Scrum Master's end? Yes, initially when I started my Scrum Master journey, based on the theoretical knowledge of Agile or Scrum framework, I used to implement certain things within the team, and it was creating certain gaps within the team and also with the client. Basically, I was depending upon my senior member in the team, SME or technical lead, for any technical issues or challenges that team is facing. What mistake I did is I was not connecting with individuals to understand what they are going through or what is the gap that is created. Because the lead or the SME whom I was depending on, they were like trying to take control over the team, and instead of assisting them or guiding them what needs to be done, they used to like order the team members, and that needs to be done, this should be completed within this team within this the timeline. So from then, once I realized that is my mistake, I started interacting with the team members individually and try to understand what is the background scenario, instead of rather than believing anyone based on their experience level. It can be any senior member or any person at architect level. Instead of trusting them blindly, I tried to connect with the team, understand their challenges, and so that I try to balance that role expectation within the team. Second mistake, what I would like to share is, so we all know as a Scrum Master, it is our responsibility to remove any sort of impediments or the blockers for to keep the show running, and it is not affecting our sprint anyways. So this approach of mine was kind like overprotecting the team, and I was not concerned like what client is expecting. I was always focusing that what team was sharing their concerns with respect to client's behavior, or it can be they were always complaining about client that they are not sharing the backlog on time, they are not giving this suggestions and all. But this is also a kind of mistake. I was only focused with respect to team members challenges or concern. But when I started interacting with the PO or the client members, I got to know that their team members, it can be any senior resource, they are connecting with them for the help or the technical assistance to work on the user stories. So their expectation was, being a lead, the team member should be able to guide other team members or the juniors, but rather he himself is approaching them. So this I try to minimize by working with the PO and having the proper backlog prioritized, ordered, and with the ensuring that acceptance criteria is all tracked. And I started working with the team members also closely before having a direct demo with the client or the stakeholders. We started internally reviewing the team. I ensured that peer review is done for any user stories to ensure that acceptance criteria is met. And if any junior resource is having any issues or concerns, we started with pair programming, like they are tagged with any senior members, and they will get the required inputs and start working on the user stories assigned to them. The other thing what I would like to share, the last thing is, so knowingly or unknowingly or forcibly, there are certain situations where we will be not focusing on the Scrum focus quite at times. So for example, when I am working with 2 or 3 external vendors, what happens is, though I share MOM after the end of the meeting, after what is being discussed, our agreements or like disagreements, there was certain situation where person who didn't attend the meeting, or person who is not aware of what is the timelines, what we are committed with the clients. So these kind of situations, when the gaps is created, what happens is they will be in their own assumption that this can be delivered instead of the agreed timelines. They will feel that they can deliver it later part also. So this somewhere impacted for our team's performance, and we were targeted, or we were highlighted as that the delay of delivery is because of our team. So to avoid all these things, we need to ensure that we have a face-to-face conversation. If not, at least since we all are working in remote area, It is always best practice that after our discussions, in spite of sending MOM, we need to regularly follow up with the concerned team members and try to get our work completed within the timelines. So better we involve all the 2 or 3 teams which we are working with closely to avoid these dependencies and understand them and make them clear by when we want these features or functionality from their end or code changes end-to-end completed before.
Hello everyone, today's topic is as a Scrum Master, if I have done any mistake and at the later point of time I have understood then what could be the mistake that I have done. And at the starting period of my journey as a ASM, I have done few mistakes, and first mistake could be the wrong concept of story grooming which team were having in the team along with the ASM and the product owner. The current ASM, what the person was following, the same I started following, and we continued the same thing for at least 6 months. Then we have found a lot of drawbacks that's coming up because of this particular wrong concept. The concept was the story grooming which is there in team's mind is like they are grooming the user story for a particular sprint. Suppose sprint 1 is going on and sprint 2 is going to start, then PO is and dev team only grooming the user story for sprint 2. Like 5 to 10 user story is enough for the team to take this up in sprint 2, then they are grooming only that much user story. But suppose the PO is the sprint 3 is going to start and PO is on vacation for in 2 weeks, then there are no story for ready for to take this up. So I just after realizing the thing, I have went to my team and made them understand that this is now this is not a way to do the story grooming, or it's we have all the wrong perception. So let's do this story grooming, and I have explained the drawbacks as well. They have agreed, and right now we are properly maintaining a healthy product backlog. The second mistake is like during sprint retrospection, there are around 30 team members were joining in a single retrospective meeting, because there were 3 different teams, and so it was very difficult to run the sprint retrospective. Though as I though I know that we should not run the retrospective in that way, but as a new Scrum Master, I have seen that that time I is completely new, and the current Scrum Master was always they were following the same thing, like they are scheduling one single retrospective meeting for 3 different teams. So this is how it went for few months, but there we have seen a lot of drawbacks, like team are not speaking